Have you ever woken up feeling like you're dragging yourself through the day, even after a full night's sleep? If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you might have started to notice that mornings just aren't as easy as they used to be. But what if I told you that this doesn't have to be your reality? What if the secret to feeling more energized, more alive, and more in control of your day starts with a small shift in how you wake up? This isn't about magic pills or impossible routines. This is about applying some simple, elderly wisdom that I wish I had learned at 60, habits that make a real difference for senior health and healthy aging. As we get older, our energy levels can dip, and life after 70 can feel like an uphill battle. But with the right mindset and a few small adjustments, active aging becomes not just a possibility, but a lifestyle. In this video, I'm going to share practical, easy-to-implement tips that completely transformed my mornings and changed the way I approach life after 70. Whether you're looking for advice for seniors over 70 or just want to improve your daily routine, these simple steps will help you reclaim your mornings and your vitality. Stick around till the end. You might just be surprised at how something as simple as how you wake up can change everything. The realization. There was a time when I thought feeling sluggish in the mornings was just a part of growing older. I was in my early 70s, and I had started to accept that this fatigue, this foggy feeling that seemed to cloud my mornings, was simply the price of aging. I would wake up, feel drained, and wonder why I still couldn't shake the exhaustion, even after a full night's sleep. I believed it was just something that came with age, a natural decline that everyone warned me about. But what I didn't realize was that I had fallen into a trap, one that many of us do without even noticing. The truth is, senior health doesn't have to mean accepting sluggishness or the lack of energy. It doesn't have to be this way. One day I came across a piece of elderly wisdom that completely shifted my perspective. Aging doesn't require us to feel drained and disconnected from our vitality. Yes, aging brings change. Our bodies may slow down and our routines may change, but that doesn't mean we have to settle for feeling foggy or exhausted. I wish someone had told me this when I was 60. That was the moment I could have made the changes that would have helped me embrace healthy aging and feel more vibrant, energized, and alive in my 70s. But like many, I didn't know how much I could influence my own well-being until I hit my 70s. It wasn't too late, though. Thankfully, it's never too late. Starting from the age of 70, I decided to take control of my mornings. And the changes I made have been nothing short of transformative. I now understand that life after 70 isn't about merely enduring each day. It's about living each day with purpose, energy, and intention. By changing my morning routine, I started reclaiming my vitality, and that set the tone for the entire day. Simple, small changes, like not reaching for my phone first thing in the morning, helped me disconnect from the chaos and start my day with calmness. It gave me space to breathe, to appreciate the moment, and to begin the day on my terms, not the world's. Now I look forward to active aging. I embrace the mornings instead of dreading them. I've learned that even in my 70s, I can feel strong, capable, and ready to take on whatever the day holds. It's about more than just getting older. It's about choosing how we age. And for anyone over 70, my advice would be to start small. You don't have to wait until you feel the weight of aging before making changes. With a few adjustments, you can wake up feeling more energized, more present, and more connected to your body than you thought possible. Senior health doesn't have to be defined by fatigue. It's shaped by the choices we make every single day. The power of small changes. Building on that realization, I soon discovered something truly powerful. Small changes can lead to big transformations. It was never about overhauling my entire routine or making drastic changes overnight. It was about finding simple, realistic ways to shift how I approached my mornings and ultimately my life. The more I embraced these small changes, the more I realized how much power we have over our own well-being, no matter our age. One of the first changes I made was in how I woke up. Instead of rushing into my day by checking my phone and letting the stress of the outside world flood my mind, I decided to take a moment of stillness. I'd sit up in bed, place my feet on the floor, and simply breathe. I didn't rush into the chaos of emails or news. I gave myself space to wake up on my terms. That small act of quiet gratitude made all the difference. It set a peaceful tone for the rest of the day and reminded me that even in my 70s, I had the power to choose how I started each day. It's easy to overlook how these small moments can impact us, but when you add them up over time, they make a world of difference. One moment of quiet turns into a mindset shift. That mindset shift influences your attitude, which influences your energy, and before you know it, your entire day feels different. It's the power of active aging, the belief that even as we get older, we can still be proactive about our health, energy, and mindset. Another small change I made was adding gentle movement to my mornings. At first, I thought that I needed an intense workout to feel better, but then I realized that even simple stretching, a short walk around the house, or dancing to a favorite song made my body feel more awake, more alive. These little movements didn't just loosen my stiff joints, they reminded me that my body was still capable, that I was still capable. Senior health isn't about perfection, it's about consistency and the intention behind our actions. These small changes don't require drastic effort. They don't demand that you become someone you're not. They're about taking small steps each day to reconnect with yourself, to nurture your body, and to embrace healthy aging. And in doing so, you begin to feel a sense of vitality and purpose that you might have thought was lost with age. It's not about achieving the same level of energy you had in your youth, but rather about embracing the energy that's still available to you. And with that energy, you can do more than just get through the day, you can truly live it. What was stopped? As I began to incorporate these small changes into my mornings, I realized that the most powerful transformation didn't come from what I added to my routine. It came from what I stopped doing. For years, I had a habit of starting my day by immediately reaching for my phone. It was the first thing I touched, the first thing I gave my attention to. Without even thinking about it, I would scroll through emails, news, and social media, diving straight into the world's chaos before I'd even stepped out of bed. This habit, though seemingly harmless, had a huge impact on how I felt throughout the day. The moment I picked up that phone, I was bombarded with stress, negativity, and the demands of others. It was like my mind was immediately thrown into a state of reaction, responding to messages, reacting to news, worrying about problems that weren't even mine to solve yet. And here's the thing, our brains are most sensitive in those first few moments after waking up. They're like a sponge, soaking in whatever we give them. And for years I had been filling that sponge with chaos and stress without even realizing how much it was draining me. Once I recognized this pattern, I made the decision to stop reaching for my phone first thing. Instead, I began to take a moment to simply sit up, place my feet on the ground, and breathe. It was such a simple act, but the shift it created was profound. I stopped letting external chaos dictate how I felt when I woke up. I reclaimed those first few minutes of my day, and in doing so, I started to feel more in control of my mornings and more in control of my life. This small change allowed me to start the day with calm, not chaos. I took the time to look out the window, feel the ground beneath my feet, and express gratitude for the new day. This simple act of stillness created a ripple effect throughout the rest of my day, allowing me to approach each moment with a clearer mind and a lighter heart. By stopping the habit of starting my day in a reactive, chaotic way, I created space for peace and positivity to flow into my life. Sometimes, it's not about adding more to our lives. It's about removing the things that drain us, the habits that we don't even realize are affecting our well-being. And for me, stopping that automatic habit of reaching for my phone was the first step toward reclaiming my mornings and my life. Embracing stillness and gratitude. Once I stopped the rush of jumping into my phone and external distractions, I discovered the power of stillness. For most of my life, I was used to moving fast, checking boxes, and going from one task to the next. But after I stopped letting chaos define my mornings, I realized something profound. Stillness was not a luxury. It was a necessity for my well-being. I started by simply sitting up in bed, placing my feet on the floor, and taking a few deep breaths. I didn't have any grand plans or expectations. It wasn't about meditating for an hour or setting lofty goals. It was about creating a peaceful, intentional moment for myself before the world rushed in. That stillness allowed me to reconnect with myself, to take a breath and appreciate the quiet beauty of the moment. This small, simple practice became my foundation for the day. I wasn't just waking up to tackle tasks or check emails. I was waking up with intention, with purpose. And in that space of stillness, I found room for gratitude. I took a moment to acknowledge the gift of the new day, no matter how big or small it might seem. It could be a simple thank you for the warmth of the sun coming through the window, or for the ability to wake up and move freely. But that gratitude grounded me, bringing my focus back to what truly mattered. In the past, I had rushed into my days, distracted by everything and everyone. But now I made a conscious choice to center myself first. Senior health isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental and emotional balance. And gratitude became my anchor, reminding me that even in the challenges of aging, I had so much to be thankful for. The more I practiced stillness and gratitude, the more I realized that these small moments of peace had the power to shift my entire day. I felt more calm, less anxious, and more grounded. I began to notice how my mood improved, how my energy felt steadier, and how I approached the world with a softer, more open heart. This practice of stillness and gratitude didn't require anything complicated or time-consuming. It was something simple, something accessible, but its impact was profound. It reminded me that in the hustle and bustle of life, especially as we age, we don't need to be constantly doing. Sometimes we just need to be present, still, and grateful. Talking to yourself. As I continued to embrace stillness and gratitude each morning, I stumbled upon another powerful practice, talking to myself. At first, it felt a bit strange, even awkward. I had spent so many years critiquing myself, judging my appearance, my abilities, my age, that it seemed almost unnatural to speak kindly to the person I saw in the mirror. But I quickly realized that this simple act of self-compassion had a profound impact on how I started my day, and ultimately how I viewed myself and my life. Each morning, after I had taken those quiet moments of stillness and gratitude, I would stand in front of the mirror and offer a few gentle words to myself. Nothing dramatic or complex, just simple affirmations. I'd say, "You're doing great," or "Today is yours," or "You've come a long way." I'd acknowledge the effort I'd made just by getting up, by choosing to embrace the day with intention. It might have felt strange at first, but over time those words became a habit. They started to feel more natural, more true. I realized that the way we speak to ourselves shapes the way we experience the world. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't just see wrinkles, gray hairs, or the passage of time. I began to see a person who had lived, learned, and grown stronger with each passing year. I saw someone who deserved kindness, compassion, and encouragement, just like I would offer to a friend. For years I had fallen into the trap of self-criticism. As we age, it's easy to focus on what's changing. How our bodies feel slower, our skin less firm, our energy not what it once was. But by turning that narrative around, I started to build a foundation of healthy aging, one rooted in self-love and understanding. Instead of being harsh with myself, I chose to embrace my aging with gentleness. Active aging isn't just about staying physically fit, it's about nurturing a positive mindset, one that acknowledges the beauty of growth and embraces the wisdom that comes with age. Over time, those small words of encouragement added up. They transformed how I moved through the world, how I interacted with others, and most importantly, how I treated myself. I stopped seeing my reflection as a sign of loss and started seeing it as a reflection of strength, resilience, and all the beautiful years I had lived. Talking to myself in this simple yet powerful way became a daily practice of self-acceptance, an act of embracing the person I was without judgment, and giving myself permission to be proud of who I had become. So, if you find yourself looking in the mirror and feeling critical or discouraged, I encourage you to try this. Speak kindly to yourself. Remind yourself of how far you've come. Offer words of encouragement. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but over time, it can become a habit that will change not only the way you start your day, but the way you see yourself and the way you embrace life after 70. Gentle movement. Once I began to nurture my mind with stillness and gratitude and spoke kindly to myself, the next step was to gently reconnect with my body. I realized that for so long I had been neglecting the power of movement, thinking that because I was aging, I should avoid exertion. But in truth, movement isn't about pushing yourself to the limits. It's about staying connected to your body in a way that feels nurturing and empowering. It's about making small, mindful adjustments that signal to your body that you are still capable, still alive, and still worthy of care. In the mornings after my moments of quiet reflection and kind words to myself, I began incorporating gentle movement into my routine. Nothing extreme, nothing that would leave me breathless or sore, just simple stretches to loosen up the tension in my joints and muscles. I'd stretch my arms above my head, reaching toward the ceiling, feeling the gentle pull of my muscles. Waking up, I'd roll my shoulders, letting go of the stiffness that tends to build up while we sleep. I'd gently tilt my neck from side to side, feeling each subtle release of tension in my body. Sometimes I'd take a slow walk around my house, just a few steps to get the blood flowing and my muscles moving. At first it didn't feel like much, but as I continued I noticed something powerful happening. The stiffness in my knees and lower back started to fade. I felt more awake, more aware of my body. The more I moved, the more I realized how much I had been holding back. Movement wasn't something to fear. It was a way to honor my body and show it that it still had a purpose, still had the strength to carry me through the day. I found joy in gentle movement, not as an exercise, but as a simple way to honor myself. There was no rush to do anything perfectly. It was simply about reconnecting with my body, about listening to its needs and responding with kindness. I didn't need to follow a strict workout routine or become a fitness expert. I just needed to move in a way that felt good, in a way that allowed me to feel more connected to myself. And that's what active aging is all about. Embracing movement in a way that works for you, not against you. Even on the days when I didn't feel like doing much, I made a point to move, even if it was just for 5 minutes. The key was consistency, not intensity. These small daily acts of gentle movement became a way to affirm my body's strength and capability. And with time, I realized that this was the kind of movement that nourished both my body and mind, setting a positive tone for the rest of my day. Movement, no matter how simple, became an essential part of my morning routine, a reminder that, regardless of age, I was still capable of change, still capable of living fully. If you found yourself slowing down, unsure where to begin, just start with gentle movement. Don't push for perfection. Let it be about feeling good, not about accomplishing anything. Trust me, every little bit adds up, and the benefits will surprise you in ways you never thought possible. Hydration and nourishment. Once I had established moments of stillness, kindness, and gentle movement, the next crucial piece of the puzzle was hydration and nourishment. It was a lesson I had learned the hard way. What we put into our bodies, especially in the morning, has a profound impact on how we feel, both physically and mentally. For years, my mornings were fueled by caffeine alone, starting with a strong cup of coffee and maybe a piece of toast. I didn't think much of it. It was just what I had always done. But as I grew older, I began to realize how much this habit was leaving me running on empty. The first change I made was to prioritize hydration. I started drinking a glass of water as soon as I woke up, before anything else. I'd heard that our bodies wake up dehydrated after hours of sleep, and I decided to see if this simple act could make a difference. And it did. That one glass of water helped me feel more awake, reduced my morning fog, and even helped with my digestion. The physical benefits were immediate. I didn't feel that heavy, sluggish feeling I'd grown used to. Instead, I felt lighter and more alert. It wasn't a dramatic change, but it was enough to make a noticeable difference in my energy levels. After hydrating, I shifted my focus to nourishing my body with a small, balanced meal. In the past, I would often skip breakfast or opt for something quick and sugary, maybe a pastry or a bowl of cereal. But now I made sure to give my body something more substantial and wholesome. I started having a small meal that combined protein and fiber. Things like a boiled egg with a piece of whole grain toast, a bowl of oats with fresh berries, or even a spoonful of peanut butter. These foods didn't just fill me up, they gave me the kind of fuel I needed to feel energized and focused throughout the morning. Nourishment wasn't just about food. It was about taking the time to honor my body and fuel it properly. I realized that senior health wasn't just about managing what I didn't eat. It was about being intentional with what I chose to eat. By making more mindful food choices, I started to feel a sense of vitality that I hadn't experienced in years. I wasn't relying on caffeine or sugar to give me a quick fix. Instead, I was giving my body real, lasting energy from whole foods that supported my well-being. This small shift in my morning routine gave me more than just physical benefits. It set the tone for the rest of the day. I was no longer just getting through the morning. I was nourishing myself in a way that felt empowering and life-affirming. I realized that healthy aging isn't just about eating less or restricting food. It's about making choices that support your body, giving it the nutrients it needs to thrive. So if you find yourself feeling sluggish or foggy in the mornings, I encourage you to start by changing how you hydrate and nourish your body. It doesn't have to be a complicated or time-consuming process. Just begin with a glass of water and a small balanced meal and see how it makes you feel. It's a simple act, but one that can set the foundation for a day full of energy, focus, and positivity, no matter your age. Life after 70 can still be full of vitality as long as we take the time to nourish ourselves properly. Meditation and stillness. As I continued to refine my morning routine, I began to realize that the moments of stillness and gentle movement weren't quite enough to ground me fully for the day ahead. There was something deeper I needed, something that would quiet my mind and give me the space to truly reflect before the rush of the day took over. That's when I turned to meditation. At first, meditation seemed like an elusive practice, something I thought only monks or deeply spiritual people could master. I imagined long hours of sitting cross-legged in silence, clearing the mind of all thoughts, something I just couldn't see myself doing. But as I embraced the idea of starting my day with quiet reflection, I realized that meditation didn't have to be complicated or lengthy. It didn't require any special training or perfect silence. It simply required a moment of pause, of breathing and of being present. Each morning, after my hydration and gentle movement, I started to take 10 minutes to simply sit in silence. I would sit in my favorite chair, close my eyes, and focus on my breathing. No music, no distractions, just the rhythm of my breath and the awareness of my body. Sometimes my mind would wander, racing with thoughts of the day ahead, but I learned to gently guide it back to the present moment, focusing on the sensation of each inhale and exhale. It was during these moments that I began to notice the profound impact of stillness. The world could be chaotic, and aging might bring its own set of challenges, but in those 10 minutes, I was reminded that I didn't have to react to everything. Meditation didn't mean pushing thoughts away. It meant observing them without judgment, allowing them to come and go without letting them control me. It was like giving my mind a reset button before I faced the world. What I didn't expect was the ripple effect it would have throughout my day. The clarity I gained in those moments of quiet gave me a newfound sense of peace. I found myself responding to situations with more patience, with more space in my mind to choose how I reacted, rather than just reacting impulsively. When something went wrong, I no longer felt overwhelmed. I was able to pause, breathe, and take a step back before moving forward. This practice of meditation and stillness became a cornerstone of my morning. It wasn't about perfection, and it wasn't about achieving a Zen-like state. It was about giving myself permission to just be for a few moments before the demands of the day took over. It reminded me that stillness isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. In those moments of quiet, I was able to connect with my inner peace and set the tone for the rest of my day. If you haven't tried meditation or haven't yet embraced the power of stillness, I encourage you to start small. Just 5 minutes of breathing, of sitting quietly and focusing on the present moment can do wonders for your mental and emotional well-being. It doesn't require any special skills or equipment, just a willingness to be still, to observe, and to be present. In doing so, you'll find that your mornings and your life become more centered, calm, and full of clarity. Active aging isn't just about physical movement, it's also about mental peace. And meditation is one of the most accessible tools for nurturing that peace in our daily lives. The role of joy and music. After embracing stillness, gratitude, and gentle movement, I realized that there was still one more essential ingredient missing from my mornings: joy. The kind of joy that lifts your spirits, the kind that makes you smile from within. As we age, it's easy to get caught up in the routines, in the things we feel we must do, and forget about the simple pleasures that bring a sense of lightness and joy to our lives. But joy, I discovered, was just as important as any of the other practices I'd introduced into my mornings. In fact, it was the missing piece that tied everything together. For me, that joy came in the form of music. There's something magical about the power of a song to change our mood, to take us back to a time when we felt carefree, or simply to make us feel alive again. I started adding music to my mornings, and it became a ritual that filled my home with warmth and energy. It wasn't just about background noise, it was about choosing music that made me feel something, music that sparked a sense of happiness and vitality. Some mornings, it was a song from my youth, one that brought back memories of laughter, dancing, or moments of freedom. Other mornings, it was something calming and instrumental, allowing me to ease into the day with a sense of peace. But every single day, I made sure that music played a role in my morning routine, even if it was just for a few minutes while I was getting dressed or preparing breakfast. I allowed myself to be swept up in the rhythm, the melody, the joy that music brought. And on the mornings when I felt like moving a little more, I'd dance, nothing fancy, just swaying to the music, tapping my feet or spinning around in my kitchen. It wasn't about perfect dance moves. It was about letting the music fill me, letting my body move in a way that felt freeing and joyful. That simple act of dancing, even if just for a minute or two, had a profound impact. It reminded me that joy is not just a fleeting feeling. It's a choice we can bring into our lives every single day. Incorporating joy and music into my mornings was a powerful reminder of the importance of embracing life's simple pleasures. No matter how old we get, we don't need to let go of the things that bring us happiness. Music, laughter, and joy don't have an expiration date. They're there for us to enjoy at any stage of life. And just like with movement, it doesn't have to be grand or complicated. It's about finding moments of happiness, however small, and letting them fill our hearts. If you're feeling like something's missing in your mornings, I encourage you to try this. Add a song to your routine. Play something that makes you smile, makes you tap your feet, or even makes you laugh. Let the music bring lightness to your heart and set the tone for the rest of your day. It's these small moments of joy that can make all the difference in how we approach the rest of our day, our week, and our life. Healthy aging isn't just about taking care of the body, it's about nurturing our spirits too. And joy, I've learned, is an essential part of that. Purpose and connection. As I embraced the practices of stillness, movement, and joy each morning, I realized there was one more piece to the puzzle that would truly transform my life: purpose. It's easy to forget how important a sense of purpose is, especially as we age. With retirement, family dynamics changing, and the slower pace of life, it's natural to feel as though the sense of meaning we once had starts to fade. But the truth is, purpose is not only essential for our mental well-being, but it also plays a significant role in senior health. For a long time, I felt like my purpose had been tied to my career and family responsibilities. But as those aspects of life slowed down, I had to learn to find new sources of meaning. I began asking myself one simple question every morning: what do I want to create today? Sometimes the answer was small, like creating a peaceful atmosphere for my home or connecting with a loved one. Other times it was something larger, like committing to learning something new or taking a step toward a personal goal. The key was that I made a conscious decision to start each day with intention. Purpose doesn't have to be something monumental. It can be as simple as choosing to approach the day with a positive mindset or making a commitment to reach out to someone you care about. These small acts of purpose remind us that we are still capable of shaping our day no matter our age. But purpose is not just about our individual goals. It's also about connection. I quickly realized that connection with others was just as important as having personal purpose. It's easy to feel isolated as we age, especially if our family and friends live far away or we spend more time alone. But I made a commitment to reach out to someone every day, whether it was a quick text, a phone call, or even a simple message on social media. This small act of connection helped me feel anchored to the world around me, reminding me that I am part of something larger. There is profound power in knowing that someone is thinking of you, just as there is power in offering that same feeling to someone else. Connection is not always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as sharing a smile with a neighbor or sending a kind message to a friend. These acts not only brighten the day of those you reach out to, but they also fill you with a sense of belonging and purpose. For me, purpose and connection became the anchors that held my mornings and my life together. They gave me the energy to get out of bed, to face the day with intention, and to approach my relationships with more love and care. Each day I was reminded that even in my 70s, I had the ability to create meaning, and that the bonds I shared with others could fill me with joy and fulfillment. So if you're feeling that your sense of purpose is fading, or if you're struggling with loneliness, I encourage you to take a moment each day to reconnect with yourself and others. Ask yourself, what do I want to create today? And then find someone to reach out to, whether it's a simple text or a phone call. The power of connection and purpose cannot be overstated. They are what give our lives meaning, energy, and joy, no matter how old we are. Active aging is about finding new ways to connect, to create, and to embrace each day with intention. If you're finding that your mornings feel heavy, or that aging is taking a toll on your energy, I encourage you to start by embracing small, intentional changes that can transform your day. Begin with stillness. Take a few moments after waking to breathe, sit quietly, and express gratitude for the day ahead. This simple practice can set a peaceful tone for your entire day. Next, incorporate gentle movement, whether it's stretching, a short walk, or even dancing to your favorite song. It doesn't need to be intense. The goal is to reconnect with your body and awaken your energy. Once you've grounded yourself in calm and movement, take a moment to speak kindly to yourself. Self-affirmations may feel awkward at first, but they have the power to shift your mindset and boost your confidence. Tell yourself, "You're doing great," or "Today is yours to enjoy." Over time, these positive words will transform how you approach each day. Another simple but powerful change is hydration and nourishment. Start your day with a glass of water to rehydrate your body, followed by a small, nutritious meal like a boiled egg or some oatmeal. Nourishing your body with real, wholesome food sets you up for sustained energy and mental clarity throughout the day. Finally, incorporate purpose and connection into your mornings. Ask yourself what you want to create today, whether it's a sense of peace, learning something new, or connecting with someone you care about. Reach out to a loved one with a text or a quick call. Even the smallest acts of connection bring joy and meaning to your life. By integrating these small, simple practices into your mornings, you'll begin to notice a shift in how you feel. Aging isn't about slowing down. It's about staying present, nurturing yourself, and embracing the power of each new day. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment with number 1 to let us know you watched the whole video. We appreciate it. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more great content. See you in the next video.